Before I get started with this painting, I just want to take you with me and show you some of the surroundings where I live, some of the beauty around. So first of all, thanks for joining me on this video. The reference photo I've popped in as well, and I'm going to try and get this sunset scene. You can see lots of nice colours and brightness in the sky, and it almost gives a silhouette for the buildings. I'm going to be using my White Nights paints. You can see the palette there, and I do have the swatch card with me, so I'm just going to run through the colours. It's not a palette that I've used too many times, but I wanted to have a go with this for this painting. So on the left hand side we've got Cad Lemon, Cad Yellow Medium, Yellow Ochre, we've got Red Ochre, English Red, Carmine, Bright Red, Bright Blue, Cobalt Blue, Indigo, Raw Sienna Umber and Burnt Umber. And then on the other side we've got Golden, Titian Red, Cad Red Light, Madder Lake Red Light, and I think that one's a violet. It's quite a dark colour, I can't see my writing underneath. Then Ultramarine, Yellowish Green, Emerald Green, Green, Mars Brown, Sepia and Neutral Black. Sorry. So I'm going to use the pencil only because this paint in itself is, well, two things. It's quite a challenge, and I'm going to use my usual suspects in brushes. You can see I've got a couple of hakes. I may not use all these brushes, but these are the brushes that I like to go for, my go-between. And like I said, I'm going to be using this pencil. It's just a normal, regular 2B pencil, just to get because there's some perspective in there, and obviously there's a couple of cars, but I'm not going to copy this reference exactly. I'm just going to use it as a reference. So I've finished with the first sort of planning stage. This is where I want to get everything in and all the things that I'm going to include with the pencil. Just so that I've got the perspectives fairly accurate and the vehicle which I'm including. So I'm on to the first wash, and this really isn't that important. You may think it might be, but it really doesn't matter what colours you put down. There is a bit of wiggle room there. You can sort of tweak things, or like I was supposed to start with clean water and it was almost a bit green. You can see in the sky there, just a bit of green. But then I followed it with yellow ochre, so that's my first colour supposedly. And I'm just going down all the paper and leaving the van, because this van is white, so there's only going to be a bit of tone on there, and I want some nice white highlights as well. So just going into the palette and adding some purple, some just red and blue, and just add some of these colours. And like I said, it don't really matter for the first sort of wash. You can have whatever colour you want in there, just to make things interesting. You can have a little bit of colour popping through, but this stage is just about covering the paper, getting rid of all that white. Obviously, apart from where you have the highlights, if you want to leave those so they do shine, and you can paint around those as you progress. So you see, I've actually added a little bit of green on the building, just to illustrate that you don't have to worry too much. You don't have to stress too much about the first wash, so it will be covered. So I'm just taking some of that pigment out of where the car is, and yeah, I'm just using this reference quite loosely. It does require, and now the painting's dry, so I'm going in with my second covering. So I'm using the this is the golden, which is quite nice. I'm using the Fabriano Artistico rough paper. To think then it's 140 pounds, so it gives a nice texture to the painting as well, and you can use that to your advantage if you use, say, like a dry brush. Just gonna tap into a bit of the cobalt blue for the sky. That's going to be the main sort of sky blue that I'm using. It's quite a nice summer blue. Slightly different to other cobalt blues in other brands, but this is what I'm using for this blue. So just letting that paint run in and mixing it over the top of the yellow ochre. So I'm just going to get hints of blue coming through, and I want plenty of colour, and I don't usually mess around too much with the sky areas, so this is quite different for me. It's quite a challenge. Usually I just throw down the paint and let it mix and all those things, but because of the colours and the nature of the sky, with it being a sunset, there's lots of different colours. It's something that I have to spend a little bit more time on, so hopefully I can get that to really shine. And there's another thing that I wanted to point out at this while I'm doing the sky. I think if you've got something in your painting that you know you may struggle with, perhaps it's best to maybe get that done first. So let me explain. I'm not sure about if I mean, I'm not the best at painting cars, and it's one of those things that if you paint slightly wrong, or if there's something slightly off, it can sort of it can be an obvious thing. It can be an obvious mistake. So that's one thing I wanted to clear up straight off the bat, is if you're including cars, anything like that, and if you do find it difficult, then perhaps paint that one of the first things that you do in the scene. So you might get to the point, you might paint everything else, everything might be looking perfect, and then you paint that thing that you struggle with and it doesn't go to plan, and it could really affect the way the painting looks. But never mind, we'll see how we get on when it comes to painting the van. But I'm just adding this, this is the CAD red light from the palette. Got a little splodge there. So just going in with a little bit of darker tone now. I'm using a little bit of that indigo and sepia for this sort of cloud. It's quite dark and I want it to be sort of dark, but I'm using a bit of water as well to blend and soften the edges. I don't want anything too hard in the sky, any sort of hard edges. Most of the times I do like to paint in a loose, sort of free, quick sort of painting, but I think now and then it is nice to test yourself, to do something that you're not quite comfortable with. And when you do those sort of things, it really stretches you, it really tests you, and it helps you to improve somewhat. So I know I do often talk about painting loosely, and you know, that's the best way to do things, this, that and the other. But if you do want to progress into more of a realistic sort of painting, then I think that they both go sort of hand in hand. You know, if you learn to paint loosely, then you can slowly start to sort of tighten things up as you gain the experience. You know what the paint does on the paper, which sort of surface, how much sort of water you need for the paint, so the water control, all those sort of nuances are there to help us progress. And when we sort of get to a stage, then maybe naturally we may want to paint something a bit more realistic. I'd love to know your thoughts. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Is painting realistic something that you like to do, or do you just continue with a looser sort of style? I like sort of both. I have been showing a lot of loose paintings, but that's more to help beginners as you sort of navigate through your journey of watercolor. But it is it can be quite enjoyable as well, doing something a little bit more realistic, a little bit more tight, involving a little bit more skill. Perhaps there's some perspectives that are required, like this one. The vehicle, it just has to be quite as accurate as you can get it, otherwise it'll look well, not necessarily. You can sort of, I think it just has to fit within the painting that you're doing. I look at these paintings and I have an idea of how I'm going to tackle things, whether it's with pen or I assess each painting and know how I'm going to go about it and what the sort of end result I'm going to try to get. Notice I did say try, because oftentimes things do sort of, in watercolors, things do happen unintentionally, and that's one of the things that I really do like in this medium. And the key is not to fight a lot of those things. We can manipulate things, we can have certain control over certain things, but a lot of times I just let things go. And I guess with a more realistic painting, it's trying to control things a bit more. So that's, I think, the best way of describing it. So just going along, I need to darken up these buildings a little bit more, because I want the sky to be the brightest part of the painting. So the darker I get these houses, the better, really. So that's what I'm doing with this. So it's just a warm mix of that red and just going in and cutting around the car, and I'm sort of improvising a few details here and there. So I've come along now and just adding a little bit more colour to the sky. I've added a little bit of pen as well, just to give me some straighter lines and the rooftops, just to make it look a bit more clean, a bit more precise. But yeah, that's what I'm doing, and I'm also adding a few more trees to the back of these houses. I just like the way they look against so they're silhouetted against the sunset, so I like that. So I'm just adding a few more of those here and there, and then it comes to the dark parts on the car. So the windows, this one is completely almost black, but I'm using sepia and the neutral black for this colour. And you can see I did add a little bit of red into the fence, and that's just to add a little bit more interest. It's not on the reference photograph, but yeah, so just adding bits. I'm just dropping in just a different mix of colour into the, I think it's some sort of porch area. And then there's some trees and things going on in the garden of our neighbour across the road. You can see I've still not painted the car. I'm painting around it, so that could be my downfall in this painting. But we'll see how we get on. I'm just going along and getting sort of lost in this painting. This one took me quite a bit of time to complete, probably around the region of 4 hours, something like that, and possibly another 3 hours to edit. So it really has taken a lot of concentration, and I'm just sort of in the moment of painting and enjoying the process as well. I'm enjoying just testing myself and pushing myself and doing something that's quite out of my comfort zone, my usual sort of thing. But I just wanted to have a go. It was an unexpected photograph that I took, I think a couple of weeks ago, as I came out of my house and looked up and just saw this really nice sky. I just thought I took a picture of my phone and just thought it'd make a really nice painting. So hopefully I can do it justice, and hopefully it's quite useful for you. I would love to know your thoughts. Leave your comments. All your comments are welcome on my channel. If there's something you think I could have improved or something you do like, let me know in the comment section. And I really do appreciate hearing from you, all those really nice comments that I get. So a big shout out to those who do regularly contribute to this my channel and my content. So I'd love to know your thoughts. And also, please give me a like as well. So I know oftentimes I talk about the ugly stage of the painting, and to be honest, I nearly did abort this painting because after I added the roofs, I had a little bit of sky done. I really wasn't happy, and I didn't think this was going to turn out any good, and so nearly never had a video for today. But I think lesson learned is when you find yourself in the ugly stage, just keep painting, and things do come together. And so I'm glad that I carried on painting, kept going and kept going. Yeah, I'm quite happy with the result. I think I've got quite a nice painting. I would love to know your thoughts and just reveal the big reveal as I take the masking tape off. But yeah, I hope you like this one. I hope you find it useful. Maybe your next painting you could try to challenge yourself, give you something that would really put you outside of your comfort zone, whatever that may be. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope you have a wonderful day. And I just appreciate your time for being here with me, and I look forward to hearing from you. And look after yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.